sah gut aus. Yeah.
Okay, good morning everyone. Okay, our first speaker this morning is Markus Poessel, who's going to talk to us about the LISC website.
So, a very good morning to you. And my topic is a meta topic again. The LISC website, or how to keep in touch with the LISA community. So, in the past days, you've all had the nice opportunity to see how fruitful or the dialogue between different communities can be. So, I don't know if any of you have given any thought of how exactly to continue that dialogue. I mean, it's okay if you have people here at a conference, but what will you do when you're going back to your astronomy or astrophysics institute and you have a question about LISA and you didn't quite get the email of the person that you want to ask a question of? So that's actually a wider problem, since LISA has a very widespread community. There's many different people doing LISA physics in different locations. So the idea was to formalize things at least a little bit and form something that's called the LISA International Science Community. There are no obligations for if you join the community. There are no fees. It's just a sort of a name for everyone who's interested in and involved in LISA science, in LISA technology. Currently, we have 174 registered members, which mainly means that those members can use our discussion forums, and they receive the newsletter from. There's your diversity from 104 institutions. And the goal is keeping in touch with other LISC members, keeping up to date with LISA developments. And also, there's another component to it for the LISA science team to gauge community support and to see how many people are actually interested in LISA, what are they doing, what are they interested in. And we had a good example in Michael Solomon's talk about how important community support of this kind can be. He was mentioning the Sophia mission, which was already cancelled and already flatlined in the budget, and which, due to community support and due to people actually being able to make a case, we have this community of astronomers, of scientists interested in doing science with this particular instrument, won't you reconsider? And given that LISA isn't at all high and dry, as we've heard in that talk as well, this is an additional aspect of having a LISA community, of being able to point, see, we have these many people, we have this diversity of projects, we have all this support for LISA, and that sort of packs a greater punch than just being able to say, we're doing this generally interesting physics, and probably people are going to be interested in it. So the story so far, just a brief rundown. 1205 is when the LISC sort of was conceived. We started a joint JPL AI development of this website that I'm going to present to you. In February this year, we had a placeholder website online in April this year, and one of the reasons that I'm showing you the history in the first place is that a number of you will have received the first LISA newsletter and been asked to register, fill out a preliminary registration for further newsletters in May. So we had 199 people signing up for that. And then, together with the LISA Symposium, we presented the basic website, which contains a news mechanism, discussion boards, resources, and which went online. And we asked people who had registered before to re-register. So all this is talk. Let's go to the website itself. And what I would like each and every one of you who hasn't registered to do, so this is the starting point of the LISA website, www.lisa-science.org, or simply lisascience.org in one word. The LISC web portal, and there's a. Yeah. Actually, it would be more stylish if I could use the. I mean, some of you have gotten the LISC laser pointers, which have the website address on there as well as a little reminder. But actually, Kurt, did you hand out 6 of these to everyone, or? Okay, so we need 6 people to have a. Okay, so that's another example of how important cooperation is. You need actually 6 people with 6 laser pointers to emulate a little LISA. Anyway, lisascience.org, and many of you are going online right now. If you could just direct your attention to me for a moment and simply follow the instructions. It's very simple. Just click joining the LISC, and you'll come to, well, LISA promised fascinating science. You know that. Join the LISA International Science Community. Let's do that. Full name, test person, email, I'll take mine. And there's actually 2 different possibilities for you. The interesting thing is that you should register as a member of the LISA International Science Community. As I said, no obligation. It's just a way of standing up and being counted, for one, and it's a way of being able to participate in online discussions, which we will hope will develop soon. But there's also the possibility, if you know any journalists or any educators just interested in LISA, but they wouldn't want to join the LISA science community since they're not doing science, then they have the possibility to register only for the website. So let's select an affiliation. Let's take the first one that's available. If your institution is not on there, don't worry, you can always write it in. And please write in the URL as well. We'll put it on our list. So now we have to choose a name that is test LISA, password, secret. Then you can choose if you want to receive the LISA newsletter, which the second one is, I think, coming up soon, by email and PDF or by mail. And that's it really. You're registered. So let's log in. I think that's what I called it, right? Test. No, that was the full name. This was the login name, I think. You see, it's very simple to fail at this. No. Does anyone remember so the lesson that we learned from this is that you should remember your login name. Yes, it worked. So actually, those of you who are very observant will notice that now we have one additional category here in the navigation bar. And my hope is that, so we have these discussion boards. They're not being used quite at the moment, but we hope they will be used soon. We do have editors for these discussion boards, moderators for the discussion boards. So my hope is that when this workshop is over, that you will go to the discussion board, next time you have a question about that you would have discussed with other participants here, and that you would just start a new conversation on this board. So, I mean, so what we've basically done here is leading. No, that's a bit impolite, right? Leading all your horses to the water, and now I'm trying to make you drink. No, but I think okay. So I'll just do my pitch last time. I think it's really useful, and you can keep in touch with the people here, and it's a good way not to have one-on-one discussion, but to have discussions with a lot of people simultaneously, and I think this is the right forum to do it. So to wrap up, just let me run through the other features. There's of course a bit of information about the LISA science community. We will get up and running a bit more frequent news casts. So we have a bit on the mock LISA data challenges. That was quite recent, but what we really would like to have is people just writing, our editors or other contributors just writing about interesting articles they've read, and so that this would really be a source if you are, say, an astronomer not that wrapped in with LISA science, that you would get pointers to interesting articles simply by following the news, which is of course also available via RSS. So you can get notifications basically. Then what we're building up is a bit of our resources page. So we were talking about community building and the influence of communities, science communities in general. There's always the question of outreach, and one great problem with outreach is that it takes work. And what we've been trying to do is take a bit of the work out of it by giving you, for instance, this is just getting started, a number of images. Let's go to the spacecraft. So high quality images of LISA that you can just take from this collection of images, put into your talk, which will save you a few hours of surfing on the web. Not to be sneered at. The other question is, how do you get started with doing LISA in the first place? Say if you're somewhere where LISA physics is done, you can always ask your colleagues, but if you are at some remote place that is not in contact with many other LISA physicists, how do you know where to start? And that's why we have a collection of introductory material. Let's just click on something like here, extreme mass ratio in spirals. So as you see, it's just a very few articles to get you started, and articles that have been selected with a view to being accessible and giving you an introduction. Yeah, then we of course have links, as every good website should have. So you see, and just to give credits, this is a joint AI-JPL undertaking. Bernie Schutz and Tom Prince started it. Michaelis does this here. Randall Jackson, Elke Müller. Web programming has been mainly done at the AI, but we're really looking to those people mentioned on the bottom here. Those are the editors and moderators who are supposed to keep the website alive and add content. And I think we've got a good framework for getting something going here, and it would be great if many of you could participate and build an active LISA science community. Thank you. Or suggestions. I mean, if something's missing on the website, then.
Maybe it would be nice to say who are editors from different sections. So, well, I'm one of the editors, and I think it's nice if other people know who to contact when they want to attract our attention or something to write an article about.
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's always questions like, what is the knowledge website?
Well, about let's just do this sort of systematically. You can always click on About the LISC and the LISC portal web team, which will give you information about the news editors. So we have Alberto Vecchio and Neil Cornish for general LISA news, David Creighton and Stas Babak for data analysis, John Centrella, Graciela Branvardi Raymond for multi-wave astronomy, Mark here, Guy Snelemans and Paul Miller for gravitational wave sources, and for the technology we have Ulrich Johann and Stephen Merkowitz. And there's always the possibility, if you want to send us an email, to contact the web team itself.
Yeah. If I have reason to believe that a certain person is registered with the LISC site and I want to contact that person, is there a way to track down their email address other than find Malcolm McCollum, grab an email list, and hope their address is up to date there?
That's actually one of the next steps that we're going to take. So we already have an automatic list generated for all the institutions, so that's the first step. And what we want is actually, if you are a registered member, then you can see a list with all the other members, and we probably won't be posting email addresses there because of privacy concerns, but there will be a possibility to just send people a message via the website itself. So, not at the moment. We have plans to do that. We want to automatize that, of course, and that's going to be up soon. That's good to hear, of course, but this is, let me reiterate, this is a framework and we've got to fill it with life, and that's actually all of our job. So. I'm not sure that we have it for the... Yeah, so there is a separate LIST webpage which you can reach via the links, and we are actually in the process of transferring, for instance, images and documents from that. Everything that's of interest to the wider community should eventually add up here.
Okay, one last question actually.
I understand that all of the talks, the presentations given at this meeting are going somewhere on the web. It would be good if there were a link to them from this website.